Picture this moment. You've rebuilt yourself. The wounds have closed. Those regrettable years sit behind you, lessons learned. Then someone you once trusted, someone who knows exactly where your scars are, decides to reopen them. They dredge up what you thought was buried and use it as ammunition. Your heart races, not from the memory itself, but from the realization that they're weaponizing your history against you. If you felt this sting before, hit that like button right now. Stay until the end, because I'm revealing 3 powerful responses that will change how you handle these attacks forever. Most of us respond predictably. We get defensive. We scramble to explain ourselves, to prove we've evolved beyond that version of who we were. We pour energy into justifying our transformation. But each word of defense hands them more control over our emotional state. We become puppets, reacting to strings they pull. People who resurrect your past aren't searching for understanding. They're hunting for your reaction. They want to see you squirm, watch you shrink, hear you stumble over excuses. They feed on the discomfort they create. Stoic philosophy offers a different path. Instead of reacting from ego and fear, you respond from a place of unshakable inner strength. Today, I'm walking you through 3 Stoic responses that disarm anyone trying to use your history as a weapon against you. These aren't aggressive comebacks. They're composed, deliberate statements that shift the power dynamic instantly. Comment, "I own my story," if someone has ever thrown your past in your face. I read every single comment, and I want to hear your experiences with this. First response: yes, that happened. Our ego wants to deny, to minimize, to pretend certain chapters never existed. But denial keeps you trapped. Stoic wisdom teaches that acceptance becomes liberation. When someone says, "You failed that business venture," or "Everyone remembers what you did back then," you don't flinch. You don't launch into explanations. You meet their gaze and state calmly, "Yes, that happened." No justification, no shame spiraling, no guilt. This simple acknowledgement carries immense power because it denies them what they crave most, your distress. They came expecting a spectacle, and you gave them serenity instead. Their weapon loses its edge when you refuse to be cut by it. Imagine an old colleague brings up how you were terminated years ago for a judgment error. You respond, "Yes, and that experience taught me invaluable lessons about integrity." In that instant, you've disarmed them completely. Once you stop feeling ashamed of who you were, nobody can weaponize it against who you are now. Seneca wrote about the nobility of standing before your own faults and declaring, "Yes, I did that, and I grew from it." When you accept your past, you reclaim authority over your narrative. You prevent others from distorting your story to serve their agenda. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe right now because I post content like this every single week. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Hit that subscribe button. Second response: I've learned from it. This sentence transforms your past from liability into asset. It pivots the conversation from "I was wrong" to "I've evolved." People who use your history against you can only see the person you used to be. They're blind to your transformation. Consider how metal becomes stronger through fire. Your fractures aren't weaknesses. They're entry points for light. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years imprisoned, a past that could have destroyed anyone's spirit. Yet he emerged saying, "I do not hate them. I discovered that genuine freedom originates within." When someone declares, "You failed at marriage, so how can you discuss relationships?" You smile and answer, "Because I've been shattered, I understand what love isn't and what it truly means." That's not defensiveness. That's wisdom speaking. You're not protecting yourself. You're redefining yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote that every obstacle presents an opportunity to practice virtue. When they attempt to stain you with your past, use that same past to demonstrate your strength. Transform pain into insight. Convert scars into evidence of growth. Third response: why are you bringing this up now? This question silences every manipulator. No anger, no sarcasm, pure, genuine curiosity, and that composure is what unravels them. When you ask why, you reverse the dynamic from being attacked to observing the attack. They wanted to hijack your emotions, but now they must confront their own motives. You've held up a mirror, forcing them to examine the shadow they've been hiding. If their intentions were genuine, your question makes them pause and reconsider, possibly even feel regret. But if they came to inflict pain, they crumble under the weight of their exposed manipulation. Epictetus taught that those who harm others are already suffering. They resurrect your past because they cannot face their present circumstances. When you calmly ask, "Why are you bringing this up now?" you've already reclaimed control. You've redirected the spotlight onto them. The power balance shifts without a single raised voice. your composure becomes impenetrable armor, your calm demeanor an unbreachable fortress. The Stoic recognizes that silence isn't surrender, it's the ultimate expression of power. When someone attempts to provoke your emotions, every impulsive reaction becomes a gift you hand them. Seneca declared, "The one who angers you conquers you." If you're getting value from this, make sure you've hit that like button. And if you know someone who needs to hear this message, share it with them right now. You might lose an argument, but you preserve your peace. You might not retaliate verbally, but you maintain your center. In our current culture, where everyone is shouting, explaining, defending, the person who remains composed holds the true power. Someone once told me, "You never react. That makes people uncomfortable around you." I smiled and replied, "I don't want them uncomfortable. I want peace within myself." Once you grasp this principle, you'll understand. Nobody can drag you into chaos unless you willingly step into it. Some worry, but what if people think poorly of me? I ask this. If they do, does that alter who you genuinely are? Epictetus asked, if someone calls you a donkey, do you check a mirror? Of course not, because you know yourself. That's authentic freedom. Knowing yourself deeply and requiring nobody's validation. If they resurrect your mistakes, smile. If they distort your past, stay composed. If they seek a reaction, show them your tranquility. You owe zero explanation for chapters you've already healed from. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When someone acts wrongly, it's because they don't know what's right. Teach them through your behavior, not your words." Sometimes the most powerful response is maturity itself. We all have previous versions of ourselves we're not proud of, but without them, we wouldn't be who we are today. Someone who once battled addiction can now guide others toward recovery. A person who once failed in business can mentor countless others to success. Someone who experienced betrayal can become an example of radical forgiveness. That's how you convert darkness into illumination. Stoics don't erase the past, they alchemize it. People will attempt to use your past to diminish you, not because you're fragile, but because your growth reminds them of their own unrealized potential. When you rise, you become a mirror, and not everyone is prepared to face their reflection. Remember 3 things. First, acknowledge your past without shame. Second, transform every mistake into wisdom, not a permanent sentence. Third, ask questions instead of reacting defensively. Let them see their own reflection in your composure. If this resonated with you, smash that like button right now. Comment below. My story moves forward, so I know this message reached you. If you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Subscribe and turn on notifications because I've got more content coming that you won't want to miss. Walk your path with calm, steady, and untouchable strength.